Hello, so I just wanted to review some different things, different topics that we talked about with the Russian Revolution. As we are moving towards the final exam, I want you to be able to remember these topics, so I'm going to go over them really quickly with y'all. So the first one is the causes of the Russian Revolution. So the causes of the Russian Revolution were these sharp economic divisions that were between the social classes. Remember we talked about Marxism and communism. This was an idea that was created by Karl Marx. Communism was recorded by him at least, and he talked about this idea between bourgeoisie and the proletariat, or the capitalists versus the workers. So basically the people who had the money and the people who had to work for their money. So there was this sharp economic division between the upper class and the people who had a lot of money, and the people who did not have any money or had to work for that money. So there was this division, and that's kind of what led to the Russian Revolution, because the monarchy in Russia at this time was very rich, and they just did what they wanted. But then they had a bunch of people who were working. So we had this sharp division between the social classes. The effects of the Russian Revolution was after the civil war between the Red Army and the White Army. The Red Army ended up winning, and then Russia became a communist nation. Before this, they were not a communist nation, but after the Russian Revolution that occurred, we lead up to this part where they become a communist nation. Also, after the Russian Revolution, we have this military aggression that starts to happen around the world after the First World War. So as you can see in this picture, you have in 1931, Japan is invading, Italy is invading in 1935, then in 1936, Germany starts sending troops, Japan is taking eastern China. You can see that all these acts are military aggression. This is the start of countries trying to get to the border or start to take over other places. And this leads down to Germany invading Poland in 1939 and Britain and France declaring war, which is what led to World War II. That is the beginning of World War II. All of these things were part of that military aggression. And then we have this last idea of totalitarianism. And totalitarianism also leads back into that Russian Revolution that we were talking about. Totalitarianism is the political system or a form of government that prohibits opposition parties, restricts individual opposition to the state and its claims, and exercises an extremely high degree of control over the public and private lives. So this is like the next step of authoritarianism. We've already talked about authoritarianism in previous units, but totalitarianism is like one step further where you don't allow someone to speak against you. So some examples are Lenin and Stalin in Russia and in the Soviet Union. They would jail or murder any potential opponents to their regime, and they didn't like people speaking against them, so they would send them to the gulags or send them to be murdered because they didn't like them speaking against them. So I hope this helps you to understand what we're moving towards with the final exam. If you have any questions, make sure to reach out to your teacher and we'll help you as best we can.